Hello, I haven't done one of these videos in a while, and last time I said I wanted to talk a little bit about why I think everyone should at least try a role-playing game, and still want to talk about that, but I feel like I want that to be a little more structured and scripted. You'll notice right now, no script, because you can see that I'm not reading off of the screen the entire time like I have been in the other ones. So instead, what I want to do today is go through, I've collected a whole bunch of books, haven't read them. Normally I just sort of put up a picture and all the titles, but this time I've been doing these videos, so I'm going to walk through some of the books. So let me grab here the first one. This one, Rescued, someone was throwing it out. It looks like it is a simple, trashy murder mystery, and I'd rather it not be thrown out. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be more interesting than the cover and title implies. I'm always told we shouldn't judge a book by its title, but here we are doing it anyway. Next, we have The Ethics of Ambiguity by de Beauvoir. I may have mentioned in our talk on existentialism, she's probably the existentialist I've read the least of the big three. So seeing as this is no being and nothingness in length, I think I'll be able to get through this without nearly as much pain as some of the other works I've had to go through. The last of well, not really the heavy reading, but the next one is Cooperation and Coercion by the Words and Numbers guys. If you haven't listened to their podcast, it's really interesting and it gives you a lot of good insight on, well, as they say here, economics and politics. So we'll see. Going to read the book. It's got charts and graphs, so it already has some promising things in there for me. Our next book is more of just a thing for me. It's here. I think may have talked to people about this book before. It's Improv for Gamers. I've had it for a while now, but I haven't actually sat down and read through the various exercises. One of the things that I'm not as good with in running games is being able to improv as well as I should. So maybe some of these exercises will be helpful. Maybe they won't. Either way, I've got it. I'll read it. Next, I've had this book for a while too. It's Philip K. Dick's Man in the High Castle. Apparently, I think there's an Amazon series on this too. So at some point, I'll probably, after I read this, if I like it enough, I can go watch it so that I can be snobby and say the book was better. And maybe at some point we'll sit down and we'll talk about why are the books usually better and where are some examples of when the book wasn't better. Because there are a few examples of that. Speaking of books books and jumping mediums here, a few years ago, my brother told me about Final Fantasy VII apparently had a sequel novel. And video games turning into novels usually end poorly. Long time ago, they actually made a Doom novel, and it's pretty terrible. And so I don't think I've ever found a video game to novel transition that was good. But here's Final Fantasy VII on the way to a smile, and it may be terrible. I mean, at least the art's pretty, right? Let's see, there's Red 13. So, the art's pretty, and the text, and it's not that long, again, so if it's bad, I won't suffer for long. But apparently with the Final Fantasy VII remaster, re-release, whatever you want to call it, maybe this will be a way to get another look on that world. Final Fantasy VII is good, but it's never been my favorite, so maybe I'm just not invested enough to really be the intended audience for that book. The last book on my list is some sci-fi, Ancillary Justice by, I'm going to butcher her name, Anne Leckie. I've had multiple people tell me I should read this, and I kept forgetting the author's name, and I finally remembered it, and now I have it. So we'll go through that. And those are the books that I'm currently let's not drop them all. Currently have stacked up to start going through this summer. If you've got a book you think I should read, or if you've got something to say about any of those, let me know. And then when I've had time to sit down and write, I do want to go over those other two topics that I've been wanting to talk about. Why I think everyone should sit down and play a role-playing game at the table. Even if you end up not liking it, you should still try it. For people who do that, I also want to talk about adventure design. Like maybe not adventure design 101 because that's a pretty big topic and there's smarter people than me who explain it, but just some, basic ideas of what makes a good adventure. And then I guess another topic we just mentioned today is like why don't books translate well into other mediums and why do they? And I have a couple of examples of movies that were better than the book, and you know, I'll talk about that at some point. Anyway, those are the books for this summer, and there might be more as we get near the end of the summer and I churn through these. But anyway, I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you all later.